I know some of you are going through hard times, some of you are struggling, but you have to understand that God is your provider if you put your faith in Him. What He provides for you at the moment might not be exactly what you want. It might not be high-end stuff. It might not be a gourmet meal. But even when the Israelites were not keeping their faith and wandering in the desert, He provided them with manna to eat. And it was a sweet little wafer that tasted like honey. And God always gives us some sweetness in our life. That's what you all have to understand, is there's always something to be grateful for in life. Always. When you're going through tough times, when you're going through really good times and times of plenty and times of abundance. I've been there. I've been on both ends. And it says, give us this day our daily bread in the Lord's Prayer. The meaning of that is you need to be grateful that you're getting your bread every day. Your bread is not only your food, although that's very important, but it's also your relationships. It's also your friendships. It's also having a job. It's also having people that love you in your life. It's having a community, friends. You might not have all those things right now, but you are getting something. Do you get clean water when you open the tap? Yes, you probably do, if you're watching this right now. Do you have the resources to have a smartphone or a computer? Yes, you do. That gives you a lot of power. God gives you enough to work with, and He gives you what you're ready for right now. That's why you see the kids of millionaires and the kids of celebrities, when they're given a lot of resources that they're not ready for, you see people crashing cars, you see people wasting money. They're not a good steward of wealth and abundance because they waste it, they blow it, and they even can destroy their lives with it. I talked in an earlier video about a kid that was given a Subaru WRX, which has 330 horsepower, for his 16th birthday, right after he got his driver's license. His parents gave him that as a celebration of his 16th birthday and getting his driver's license. And the very next day, he wrapped it around a tree and died. And he couldn't handle the horsepower. And God's not going to give you things you can't handle. If you're on drugs right now and abusing drugs, He's not going to give you more resources so you can abuse more drugs. Or if you waste money on bull crap and you're addicted to shopping for junk that you just really don't need, God does not bless that behavior. I'm not saying this with any condemnation or judgment, because I've wasted money on all sorts of stupid stuff in my life. But when I stopped and I became a good steward of what I already had, that's when blessings started to come. And you have to be grateful for your daily bread. We ask for that in the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So you get fresh bread every day. Whatever that is, you have to be grateful for. Whether it's having a job, having a roof over your head, having food in the fridge, having people that are helping you out. I don't know what it is for you, but you have something to be grateful for. And don't worry too much about the future. Yes, prepare. Yes, work hard. But don't worry about tomorrow's bread. Worry about your daily bread. You're just getting enough every day to survive. And when you're ready, when your faith is good enough, when you leave things to God and let God handle what you can't handle, is when the overflow comes into your life. And you end up getting more because God knows you're ready and you'll be a good steward. And you won't use the extra resources to destroy your life. And the same thing goes for relationships and stuff like that. If you don't fully love yourself, hanging out with yourself, being in your own company, going out to eat by yourself, cleaning the house by yourself, managing your emotions, not being needy on someone else to lift you up all the time and prop you up. When you're not needy and you're happy with your own company, that's when God will put the right partner into your life. You might not even be looking. And for years I was lonely and going and doing all sorts of stupid stuff because I was lonely, like going to bars, doing random things that I don't really need to talk about right now, but looking for love in all the wrong places. But when I was alone for a couple months, stopped chasing women and was happy in my own company, that's when I met the right person. And there's so many examples like that. So God will give you your daily bread. And if you can be grateful for what you have, even if you don't have a partner right now, even if you don't have a great job, even if you don't have your own place, if you have roommates and you're struggling, you still have something to be grateful for. You're not on the street homeless. You haven't been born with mental retardation or a mental illness where you can't do anything for yourself and you have to be in an institution. I know people that are stuck in that situation. So there's always something to be grateful for. And you have to remember there's always someone worse off than you. There's a lot of turmoil and war going on in the world and famine going on in the world. And chances are if you're watching this on your smartphone, you're not going through a lot of that, especially if you live in the United States. We have clean water coming out of the tap. We have enough food to eat usually. And there's places where that doesn't exist. So when you can be contented with what you have and start to expect your daily bread from God, faith is what brings abundance. It's not something you do. You can work as hard as you want and you might get a lot of stuff, but you won't even be able to enjoy it. Would you rather strive and struggle for what you have? Or would you rather use faith and work smart and not hard to get abundance in your life? That's a choice you're going to have to make. And you have to take your ego out of it. You're trying to get it by hook or crook, and striving is going to be a lot less powerful than you putting your faith in God that He will provide your daily bread. He'll provide your needs. And you might be eating on manna right now. It's still sweet. You might just be eating manna. And the Israelites were tired of eating manna every day. And they wanted to go back to slavery in Egypt and eat the foods they ate under slavery, because at least they had some variety and they had some meat and they had bread and they had all the foods that they were used to. But your time for plenty is coming. All it takes is following your conscience, doing the right thing, taking those baby steps every day, doing what you can and let God do the rest. And your manna will turn into wine and bread and like abundance. Your cup will be overflowing. You will have more than enough. God, a name for God is El Shaddai, the God of more than enough, the God of overflow, and He will provide your overflow if you just keep the faith, do what you can, and be grateful for your daily bread. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.